Well, we are joined here by Mr. Sanjeev Krishan, who is the chairperson of PwC India. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. And we are here for the Best CEO Awards organized by Business Today. Let's start with a generic question. What do you see, like, how is the India doing in trajectory towards growth, and what factors do you believe that they are affecting growth in India, and how do you see 2025 years for India?
Well, I think with everything that we have done over the years, particularly the reform process that has been launched many years back, I think we have come a long distance already, and that is actually manifesting in the way India has grown. Last year, over 8% growth. Even this year, should be certainly north of 6.25% growth, etc. That we should have. Last projection says 6.4%. I think now, if we look at the future and we talk about Viksit Bharat, I think the focus really has to be on doubling down on three things, as I would say. One, on ease of doing business. There's a second stage of reforms on ease of doing business, particularly making sure the center and state coordination becomes much stronger, and we're able to execute many of the policies that are being enunciated at the center, for instance. I think that's one of the big things. I think the second one really is going to be making sure that there is ability for continuous absorption of the capital expenditure which the government is making, and secondly, that the private expenditure goes up in a significant way. And I think that's something which will require, as I said, the ease of doing business, but also certainly certain focus on debottlenecking. For instance, our logistics costs, which are still very high, I think some of those need to be brought down when we talk about manufacturing, for instance. Making sure that, for instance, there's a huge focus, a greater focus on R&D and innovation, because that's something which we can do better on. Likewise, when it comes to our services segment, including our IT sector and our GCCs, etc., the focus on upskilling, so that we continue to create value for clients in general, because otherwise it is always about cost arbitrage. So I think those are some of the things which will be very, very critical on a go-forward basis. I do believe that the focus on healthcare and education from a social standpoint, even as we do not lose our focus on sustainability, is the other third element which I would want to talk about, because unless the growth is equal across the nation and societies, it might create challenges. So those three from my standpoint.
Well, I also wanted to know, what about the AI automation technological reform? What should the CEO of the company do to get in line with the competition, fast-moving trends in the company? Like, what are your views on that?
So I think simply, first of all, be a bit curious, because you can always learn from it. It's not something to be fearful about. It's something certainly that we can leverage and create impact and value. So I would certainly say be curious. Learning is something which is very important, and then only when I learn about it can I leverage it for my benefit. And I think that's been proven, that all the use cases that industry has come up with already, not just in India but also globally. I think we can clearly see that there are significant benefit in people leveraging it. I think the second part, which I would say really is a large part of that, also has to be driven on a sovereign basis. So whether I would expect India as a nation and many corporations also to have their own LLMs developed over a period of times, and I think that is something which is going to be important and critical as time goes by, because that will enable us to get the multiplier effect on some of these things. And I think the third thing really is about upskilling, because we need to skill ourselves on being able to leverage this technology in a very differentiated way. I can't have a workforce. I can't say that I've leveraged AI unless everybody in my organization is able to talk the same language. Otherwise, the experience that I give to anybody outside is unequal. And that's why just my knowing is not good enough. My entire team should know it.
So we're talking about corporates. I want to know, what is PwC doing in the needs of putting Indian consumers in the line? What are your strategies? What will be your strategies for the growth as well?
From our standpoint, I think we're a significant employer in the country, and for us, I think the contribution that we make largely is to make sure that we keep our people skilled. So there is a significant focus that we have on skilling our own people. I just mentioned that even to leverage technologies like AI, for instance, without skilling, India will cede ground. We don't want to lose ground as an organization. So I think the big focus for us as a people business is to make sure that we are skilling. And I think the second one really is to make sure that we always talk about impact. And one of the things which I'm absolutely proud of is the work that we do through our PwC India Foundation. It is obviously on social media, but we don't talk about it so much. We have been just recently. We had the vice chair of my PwC foundation. He was in Wayanad in terms of helping people who have, of course, suffered from the floods out there. And I think that's something. Whether it is the education of the girl child, whether it is making sure that for communities which are underprivileged, we are actually helping them come up through the learning curve. I think the impact that we make through the PwC India Foundation for the communities which are underprivileged is something that we are absolutely proud of. I certainly believe we need to do a better job of making people aware of what we do. So, for instance, I mean, just a few days back, I was part of an exercise of the foundation where there's a mobile van which we have, which actually takes care of people who need, who just need some health care. And, it goes around the city and, creates impact. I think that's something that we need to socialize more. Not just in India, we actually also go overseas. So, we were in Bangladesh and with Rohingyas who are actually settled on the eastern part of the Bangladesh border. We have been helping them as well. So I think it's the impact that we make. And I think that's something that we are absolutely proud of.
Well, finishing up with a very quick question. What are some qualities you want to see in a business entrepreneur or a CEO, according to you?
Well, I think most importantly today it is going to be our ability to adapt, to change, and embrace that change and act on it fast and execute. Don't be in a state of inertia that, I can keep saying that, okay, I need 20 simulations of every problem. But I think it's important that we act on it, we execute fast. Not everything will go right. Some of our bets will go wrong. But at this point in time, disruption is the biggest opportunity, the way I look at it. And it might require us to act with a lot of agility and be modular in our thinking and our approach and the execution of it. And if we do that, even if 4 and 5 of our bets or 3 and 5 of our bets come through, we would have made progress.
Well, there were some lovely insights by Mr. Krishan. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And it was lovely to have you on the panel as well and on here. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.